Welcome to Jopanye YouTube channel. So on this channel, the basic understanding of everything here is about love, and this love goes a long way to express uh, in ourselves as individual. Because for us to be able to spread love and understand love more, we need to love ourselves first. So here we spread love through spirituality and knowing ourselves or knowing thyself. So love is being spread, and to understand love deeper, it goes deeper into spirituality, and spirituality gives you the space to know thyself, and knowing thyself, it opens us up to so many things, to be able to have information and knowledge about so many things and be able to put it into practical use. Then we can be able to have that wisdom and carry it along day in, day out, and raise our consciousness to a higher level whereby we can be able to navigate life very easily. So the goal of life, moves after the purpose, finding the purpose. The very thing that we do most each and every day is to be able to navigate it very well, to be able to navigate everything that is happening around us and understand everything, so that we can be able to soar in life each and every day without mistakes, or without anything holding us back. The key is to uh, put ourselves in a state whereby we are free and there is nothing holding us back, and putting us into a space of higher consciousness. So one of the key things that I would like to talk about in this episodes or in this series is sex. Yes, exactly. Sex is something that we've heard so many times, we've engaged into it so many times, we uh, read about it so many times, and there are so many platforms that talk about sex each and every day. There are so many platforms on the internet that open up about sex or give us a glance about deeper into sex and so many things. So but one thing that we need to understand and know for ourselves is that we need to understand ourselves of ourselves, for not what people say or what people think about us. So when it comes to sex and we bring it to spirituality, there are so many things that we will get to understand, or we need to understand, that can be able to lead us very well and give us this understanding, so that we can be free from these chains of not understanding what actually we are doing and the consequences that follow up with it. So now, when we talk about sex, right from the beginning, for me, I have not been in a position whereby I have been sat down by my parents or my father or my mother or the extended family to give me a key knowledge, or to be able to educate me about sex. And it happens in every African society or in every African home. Every African home, there is no space whereby uh, we are being sat down and being given education about sex, and the morals about sex and everything that comes about sex. All we are, told is to, give us these kind of lines or this kind of training that specifically states that sex is bad, sex is something which we need not to engage into. And when we go out into the society, that is our church or our religious homes, we are taught that sex is actually a sin, and when you do that, then you become a sinner. So and God actually don't like sinners. So which means typically it's something that is to be avoided. We don't actually near it, and we are given this understanding and training that sex is only meant for the married people. So when you are not married, there was no reason for you to engage into sex. But one thing that baffles me the most, and I try to put out to people, is that if sex is actually a sin and it's meant for married people, then I think from the beginning, when God created us, God should have been able to shut down this sex energy that has been in us or is in us. God should be able to shut it down, that when we are up to the stage of marriage, then we can be able to, bring up this energy in us. Then we can begin to have these sex feelings or these sex libidos rising in us. Because specifically when we can see, we can be able to analyze and be able to watch ourselves very well, pay attention, we can realize that these sex feelings don't generate from outside us. It generates from inside us. It is something which is inside us. It is not outside us. So if it is inside us, then God has this power to be able to shut it down totally. Then when we are up to the marriage stage, then we can be able to, God can be able to activate it in us. Then we begin to have sex. But these things are in us right from childhood, not from anywhere, not from any stage at all, right from childhood. When we begin to understand life, and then we begin to have these sex feelings, or our sex energy begin to rise and rise and rise. And so as a child, for me, I've been taught it is not good and it is a sin. So, and I want to, as a child growing up in an African home, we try to, involve into these things to see why actually our parents or our elderly ones or the church or the religious groups are actually telling us that this is a sin and this is bad. We are not to involve into it. Only married people are to do that. So we want to know what actually the married people are enjoying, or what actually the married people are doing that we are not allowed as child to do. But not for only the extent of what married people are doing that we are not allowed to do, for the extent that we wake up each and every day having this sex feeling or this sex energy rising up in us each and every day. And there was the understanding for us as children that the only time this sex energy can go out of us is when we actually engage into this activity with a female, or we actually engage into this activity with a male. So that is the only time we can be able to, quench this sex test down in us. But we are now told that it is a sin and it is not good. So, as a child, for me, I actually hide to do it, because as young as I was, I begin to have these sex feelings in me rising very higher, getting me to a space that I have to hide, sometimes with the little kids around. And when we were young in the African home, we have this place that we normally engage in, that we when we engage into these activities, we try to have sex, or we try to find our way into having sex or involving into sex. And as a child, these things were the things that we were doing. And we know very well that the elderly one has classified this as a sin, and the church and the religious group too have also classified this as a sin or something which is bad, or society frowns against it as a kid, or if you are not married, you need not to involve into these things. So I took this knowledge with me for some time, and I was a Christian for some time, so for as long as I can say. And so I have this knowledge in my mind very well that sex is a sin. So when I engage into it, anytime I engage into it, then I'm a sinner. God has to punish me for engaging into sex, or involving myself into sex. But these things were, energies that were rising in me. I had nothing to do else to just engage into it. So I engaged into it so many times, because I actually, when I was into the world, I actually really love sex. Sex was something that I really don't want to do away with. Each and every time I need a way, I need to find a way to actually engage into sex. And I engage into sex so many times, and so many times I try to go deeper to understand what actually this sex is, and what actually sex has been giving me, and what sex means to me as an individual. And as I grow more, and I come across spirituality, and I begin to understand myself as an individual, and understand the world of spirituality, it now gives me a very deeper knowledge and a very deeper understanding and wisdom into whatever I have been told about sex and everything that's involved into sex and what actually brings about sex and what sex actually means in us as individuals. So I will take my time and break these things down so that we can be able to have this knowledge. And when we have this knowledge, we go in there, understand them, put it into practice, and see if it is good for us or not. If it is okay for us, then we can be able to, take it as part of us and take it along in life and put it into our daily life activity to help us grow or create a better reality for us. So thank you very much and watch out for and get ready for the next episode. Thank you.